Hello, hello, hello. A warm welcome to each one of you who's tuned in today. We have a very important guest and very beautiful author we have amongst us today. But before I go on about her, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Gaurav Tekriwal and I am beaming you live from Kolkata, India. And I represent my organization, the Vedic Maths Forum India. So today we have our eminent guest, Mrs. Kaninika Mishra. So it's a pleasure to have you here, ma'am. A warm welcome to the Vedic Maths India show. And a warm
Hello.
namaste to you as well.
Hello. It's lovely to be here with you, Gaurav.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I would like to go ahead and
Yeah.
introduce you to our lovely audiences here. So, ma'am, Kaninika Mishra is the author of the book Indic Quotient. Okay, it's been published by Bloomsbury, India, and she is reclaiming the heritage through entrepreneurship. So her best-selling book, The Indian Millionaire Next Door, was also published in 2012. It contains inspiring accounts of the professional journeys of India's top financial advisors and has been translated into two languages, which is in Hindi and Tamil. Kananika was born in Jamnagar, Gujarat, and that's where you have the Gujarati blood in you and the blood of enterprise in you, so you can churn books like the Indic Quotient. And she grew up in different parts of India. She holds a bachelor's degrees in homeopathic medicine and arts, as well as a master's degree in management from the Queensland University of Technology in Australia, and also from the Carolina University in the States. Kalnika has worked in
Thank you.
the financial sector in India for several years and now heads the Learning and Development Department for a communications firm in Gurgaon. A warm welcome to you again, Kanika, on this show,
Thank you. Thank
and it's
you.
a privilege to have you amidst us today. So tell
Thank
us
you.
about a little bit about the book, The Indic Quotient, which you have authored, and it talks about a lot of Indian knowledge systems. So before I go there, but let's talk about a little bit about your book. So if you could tell us more about the Indic Quotient.
My book, The Indic Quotient, is an effort of 4 years of research in which I traveled across India to various places from the north, Uttarakhand, to the south, Kerala, to in the west from Gujarat, right up to the northeastern part of India, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and of course Calcutta in the east, where I met you.
Yes,
And
yes,
my
yes.
my whole effort is was to get inside and understand the different individuals who are working towards bringing parts of our heritage, some aspects from our old knowledge systems to contemporary life. So I have, for example, people in Gujarat who are doing farming, and they are using some indigenous grains and trying to package them and sell it to urban consumers. We know these indigenous or Indian grains, which used to be at one time in our grandmother's kitchens, like jowar, bajra, and they somehow disappeared from our lives. Now there is an effort to get them back by some of these agro entrepreneurs. And then we have also a lot of people in the textile business. So India is so rich in textiles. We have in every region a different kind of a hand woven sari or a fabric. So you have your various ikat fabrics in both Odisha and in the south, and you have the Kanjivorams and you have the Banarsis, and we have in Calcutta itself the famous Bengal cotton saris. So there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are working to sustain this, package it in a new form, so that these amazing rich parts of our heritage just don't go away, because in the modern times there is a lot of focus on fast things, quick things, but these are precious things for us, and they have immense value for both the producers and the consumers today. So my book has been an effort to find such gems from all across India, put them together in a unifying thread, and present this idea to the readers that our heritage is valuable. We have a very rich culture of knowledge, and luckily for us, we are the oldest continuous living civilization in the world. So we are not forgotten everything. We may have missed a few parts here and there in our growing up with the entire, Western education, the globalization, all, our Western American sitcoms, etc. But we still understand the value of haldi doodh or turmeric latte, as it is called. So I think it is very much a part of our lives, and that is why I wanted to bring to our readers the new ways in which we are using them, we are consuming them, and a lot of entrepreneurs are working towards making these in India, vocal for local, make in India, Atmanirbhar, and also use it as a soft power abroad. So, today India is known by our great yoga initiative called the International Day of Yoga. We are known for our amazing herbs which we export, which are not found anywhere in the world. And these are medicinal herbs in the Himalayas. And
Wow.
so that is what, in fact, before I conclude this question, the answer to your question, I like to say that your viewers may be surprised to know that during the lockdown phase, during this entire 2020 Corona phase, the demand for turmeric, haldi from India, went up to more than triple, because and the
Right,
traders
right.
were not able to meet this demand for export, because the orders were coming in from America, from Europe, from all over Asia, and
Wow.
there was such an increase in the access or the desire to access an Indian knowledge, which is so much close to our hearts, and we don't even think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no second doubt on it that India has become the soft power that is belonging to
Yes,
the
yes,
is
yes,
immersed compared to other countries, is immersed in the global scenario. And it is only the soft power skills which we have, these knowledge systems like
yes,
yoga, Ayurveda, Khadi, which has put India back on the world map as a superpower.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so I wanted to know about some stories which you have found in your journey, which you have traveled to get the book out. So tell us some stories about Indian knowledge systems like yoga, stories of enterprise,
Uh-huh.
stories of inspiration from your
Okay.
journey for yoga and maybe Ayurveda.
Okay, so for yoga, you would be very happy to know that, and of course, we all do know that yoga is started off in a big way. But you'll be happy to know that it is not just the urban upper middle class which can afford it. These classes, or a private yoga teacher. Yoga is reaching out even to the underprivileged people in India. And in my visit to Mumbai, I met a teacher who is working for with a social initiative which goes to municipal schools, the government schools. And I actually went with her to this municipality school in Jogeshwari, which is a suburb in Mumbai, and it is
Mhm.
surrounded by slums. And these little kids are taught yoga by this teacher 2 or 3 times a week. And it is just a
Wow.
social welfare she's doing. And what she told me was that these children, because they come from such disadvantaged background, they had problems of focus, concentration. They had, trouble in grasping. And by meditation and yoga classes, they've been able to increase their focus, increase their concentration. They've got a lot of self confidence. And the most interesting part of this is that after she finished the class, we walked together through that slum across an open drain to at the highway to go to a multi-rise building to where she was doing the yoga class for corporate executives, which of
Wow.
course she charges
Wow.
for. And this is the beauty of India, that we are, every venture of ours becomes democratic. So while we have, in the West, yoga is a rich person's recreation or rich person's health fix. In India, we are even a rural person understands it. We have people like watching it on TV, trying to learn yoga through some people they know, or we have initiatives like this for the urban poor. So I'm very happy to share that we have initiatives across the board. Also, as a profession, I see a lot of people in Gurgaon who are from rural backgrounds and have taken up yoga as a profession, as a
Wow.
vocation, and they have built their entrepreneurial business. They are today have a good practice of teaching yoga, and they are sustaining themselves and their families through this. So it is an amazing thing to see how something so integral as a part of our heritage is today sustaining lives, is making a positive impact in societies and communities and underprivileged parts of India. So I think it's a very nice experience that I had while traveling to various parts of India.
Yeah, I also want to add on that note that there's a complete ministry now in India. It's called the Ministry of Ayush, where you
Yes,
have yoga, Ayurveda, homeopathy, and other Unani medicine systems as part of that
yes,
ministry. And
yes,
it only started with the current government. And I feel
yes,
that the
yes,
current government has taken a lot of initiatives to bring back our ancient Indian culture, back into mainstream, and hence
yes,
the International Day for Yoga, and coming up with initiatives in all the countries. You have
yes.
people like Ramdev Baba or
Hmm.
Sri Ravi Shankar and other people of the like promoting this concept of Indian yoga. So that what I
Yes.
think is very, very encouraging.
Yes, yes, it is. In fact, with Ayurveda, because you mentioned Ayurveda, Ayurveda has, I spoke to a Ayurveda entrepreneur. So Ayurveda is mostly about doctors, as we know, and this
Correct.
person in Gurgaon has a startup called Nirog Street, which is a platform for putting together, getting the Ayurveda doctors to connect with patients. So it's a platform where if you want to search for an Ayurveda doctor, you can, like other apps, you can download the app and use it. And the most interesting part is that he told me that this app is fixing the distribution system, because after 75 or so years of independence, we still don't have a stitched up distribution system for Ayurveda medicines. So the Ayurvedic doctors don't get access to the medicines when they want. So if a patient walks into their clinic and they have to
Yeah.
prescribe a medicine, they may not have it in stock, and the person may not even find it in the city, because it is
My
so
God.
difficult to obtain these medicines. And what you said was absolutely right. He told me that the reason why it is like that is because for many years we had this complex that anything that is so much a part of our tradition may be inferior, and so we did not put in that kind of infrastructure for the doctors, for the colleges. Most of the colleges even today in the Ayurveda space grapple with problems like this. So the infrastructure, the teachers, the quality of students, everything requires a rethink. And I think we have to start somewhere. I'm not saying it's fixed, but it needs to start somewhere, and there is a positive effort to reclaiming, to understanding that yes, there is value. How much value and how we can use it depends on how we can work together with different fields of study, different scientific fields of study today, to get to a place which benefits everybody, so the patient gets the best treatment that is for useful. And there are many cases in which Ayurveda is working beautifully, and I think that we are at the stage now where we have the confidence to say that yes, there is some value in it, we should explore it.
Completely. So before we go on to this wonderful discussion which we are having, Kaninika, I would like to say a warm, warm welcome to all our listeners today, all our viewers on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook channels. It's pleasure to have you here amongst us today. And I'll take some queries, some chats. So we have Prachi who's saying hello, and she's also asking a question. So, what is the scope of Ayurveda? We're going to go with that in a minute. So, I would also like the audience, if you have questions, please, please, please just type it in the chat box. in front of you. If you're on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, please type in your questions, and we'll be happy to take them up. So let's see the scope of Ayurveda
Yeah.
is. I mean, it's not rocket science. Anybody can say it, but we want to know from you about the entrepreneur that you have mentioned.
Yes.
The scope of Ayurveda, as per question by Prachi Mittal.
Yes. Thank you, Prachi, for this question. And I do get this question a lot whenever I talk about my book because, we have been. Always we know Ayurveda, but it's always been in the fringes, and now we find this huge effort to get people engaged in this particular field. And what I saw in my research, so I met several Ayurvedic doctors, and you would be surprised to know that in Kerala, the Ayurveda doctors who are practicing today come from the same families which were there uh, thousands of years ago, and they have
Wow.
maintained their family practice along generations, and today they are combining their knowledge with modern systems. So for example, I visited Arya Vaidya Shala, which is in Kottakal in Kerala, very much near Kozhikode, and I found that that particular treatment center, you can get a blood test. So once you go there, they will take all your symptoms, they will do a blood test, they will find out what the issue is, they will look at all your reports and prescribe their traditional treatment. But they are so open that if you tell them that I am taking a medicine for hypertension or high blood pressure, so they will always have a phased way to get you off in case you are responding to the Ayurvedic treatment. So they are very cautious that today's modern times we can't just give away our allopathic medicines. They always want to take people through the cycle to make sure that they are responding and they are being treated in the best way that is good for them. The other thing that I saw, which was very interesting, was that there is a person, an American, an Indian born in America, who studied in Harvard, who had come to India on a Fulbright scholarship to do a PhD from BHU in Ayurveda. She is an
Wow. Wow.
allopathic doctor, and she has got so interested in Ayurveda that she actually came to India, and she has now got a practice in America, in I think in New York, if I'm not mistaken, where she treats patients according to what is best for them. So she
Wow.
prescribes Ayurveda medicines if it is good for them, or she does a complete analysis and gives them an opinion based on her knowledge of both these sciences. What can be so incredible than this? So I think it's just amazing. And to as a final response to that question, I will share one little anecdote. I am a part of a group of HR because I'm in corporate learning and development. I'm a part of a WhatsApp
Wow.
group of HR persons, HR professionals of various corporates. And there was that people keep posting job opportunities, that do you know anybody who has this qualification? We are looking for somebody like that. And there was a couple of days ago a job opportunity mentioned for an Ayurvedic doctor in a country called Albania, and the
Oh.
salary was 3 lakh rupees a month. There were tickets back and forth from home country, and also the perks were like free stay, free food, and that was for a resort, a health resort in Albania, where they wanted that this Ayurvedic doctor should prescribe some Ayurveda treatment for the people who come into that health center, that health resort. So, I mean,
Wow.
sometimes we just underestimate ourselves. There
Yeah.
is an amazing scope today. It depends on what you make of it.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. It's amazing to know that people in Albania, especially in these resorts, are recognizing the Indian
Yes,
heritage, which is
yes, yes,
the spas are filled with Indian solutions worldwide, as you have said, and it's incredible to know that. Especially, also, I remember I was in Cape Town in a resort that I'm talking about 3 years back, and
yeah,
these guys had asked me to, talk more about the Shirodhara treatment from Kerala.
yes, yes,
Is a
yes,
part of their spa treatment. So that was
yes.
incredible to know that we are making mark globally. So let's take some
Yes.
more questions. We have Mishti from YouTube messaging us. Hello, sir. And she had a question. Uh, what is the right age for kids to start yoga? So,
So when we say start yoga, I would want to ask the viewers to think, what do we mean when we say start yoga? What is yoga? I think yoga is a mindset. I think from a very early age, when children see their parents do yoga, they are starting yoga because they are listening to the mantras, they are listening to the alignment of body, mind, and soul. They are observing a practice which is beyond our physical realm. And where in today's world do we see that conversation? You have your malls where it is all about consumerism, you have your gyms where it is all about building your muscles or getting that figured zero size or whatever that is, and that is all external, that is all a physical realm. There is no conversation in our societies today. Unfortunately, we are going advancing the western way, which is inevitable, but I think we have such a precious thing that we can have a conversation by just doing yoga in our home and letting our kids be a part of that. So I know my first memory of yoga is when I was only 4 years old, and my parents were in this ashram in Kanyakumari, and that is my first memory of yoga. I didn't even know what yoga was, but what I know was that there was a discipline in the way they ate food in the ashram. There was a discipline in the way they meditated, and that is invaluable. I think our children gain a lot by that aspect of yoga. Now, once a child is old enough, maybe if they are doing the physical part, there is a lot of physical aspects of yoga they get interested in, and slowly the meditation and the chanting, which we call mantrocharan, and the pranayam can begin. So I don't see a cutoff, or it is not like you are going to start working on a treadmill. It is for example, we have the shishu asan, or the bal asan, which we call. It is a natural pose of a child. So a child is already doing an asana when they are in that pose. It is about how you can orient the child, maybe around 6 or 7, to start focusing and telling them that there is a discipline in the way we are doing it. It enhances certain aspects mentally, physically, and emotionally. And at that time, they may be able to do it with some seriousness. So I feel that these are such holistic systems that there is. The paradigm of looking at it is very different. So I don't know if I answered the question, but that is
oh,
what I believe.
that was very beautifully answered. You touched upon the spiritual and the philosophical aspect of it also. So let's take a leap from there, and let's
Yes,
let's learn about textiles a bit in India, like Khadi. You have advocated Khadi in a very big way. It's a real comeback for the
yes,
Khadi industry
yes,
also. Is
yes,
speaking a lot.
yes,
So
yes,
I recently remembered also watching a movie on the promotion of Khadi called Sui Dhaga. So
yes, yes, yes.
I want you to touch upon a little bit of your experience with the gentlemen and entrepreneurs in the Khadi industry.
Okay. Again, if you read about Khadi, in if you look at books from Greece in 100 AD, which is
Mhm.
just at the turn of the new from the Christian era, we see that in 100 AD, Greece and Rome, they had a huge demand for Indian textiles. So the cotton
Wow.
from here, the silk from here was actually draining their treasuries, to the extent that they had to tell their ladies that please do not spend on these kind of luxuries. So the kings were in a trouble because the women were shopping in India. So so the queens were had such a craze for Indian luxury items, especially the textiles. So there is the documented evidence. Now,
Wow.
that obviously made India one of the richest countries in the world. We were known for trade. We were, and this is not just cliched things written in books, it is documented by the Western people as well. Now, somewhere along the line during the colonial era, we saw that the Britishers, because of their selfish interest in promoting their own goods, they ensured that our industry kind of finishes down. And
Right.
most of our weavers, they are today, and if you see most weavers in all these, they make cooperatives and they have these little clusters, they are all marginalized. So most of these pockets, you can say, West Bengal, you can go to the place where they have these, the saris, now, and Baluchari saris, I think Murshidabad, or,
Right.
if you go to Sambalpuri in Odisha, or you, go to even Banaras, you see these weavers in the south. If you go to Hyderabad and Telangana, you'll find that they have this Pochampalli. So all these weavers are marginalized because their trade finished. The best part for us is that they still didn't completely vanish. They're still there. And you will be surprised. It is incredible that the reason they do it is not because, why did they not stop doing it? Even if the market finished, it's anybody's,
Right.
anybody can just stop doing it. There is a passion. They understand the value of that more than us. So there is in Maheshwar. Maheshwar is known for their Maheshwari cotton silk sarees. Maheshwar is a holy town in Madhya Pradesh on the banks of Narmada. It is built by a queen, Ahilya Bai Holkar, who was the queen of that dynasty. And she ruled somewhere around the early part of the 18th century. And she has brought all for her people. She restarted doing this industry. You will be surprised that the weavers there, one of the guys told me his mother is very old, so she can't weave, but she just wants to sit every day and create something on her hand loom, just create a
Mm.
pattern. So
Mm.
this is a creative outlet. Our khadi is a creative outlet. It's not a machine. It's not work for most of these weavers. You see most people who do kanta or you do chicken kari, these women get a creative outlet. It's not just you cannot do this laborious work only for a market, only for money. It has to be a creative instinct, and that is what it is. I think we have somewhere not recognized this. I think today we are understanding a lot of designers I have covered in my book, right from
Yeah.
Assam to even in Uttar Pradesh and in the south. There are a lot of designers who are using a different materials. So you have khadi, you have a lot of designers using only Assam silk. You have a lot
Mm.
of designers who are saying we are only going to work with the Telangana ikat. So
Ah.
they are working in very focused way for bringing up these textiles, and I think that's a great effort. They are working with these poor weavers and giving them that input of design and quality. And there are some organizations who are also helping them in many other ways, with school, with the healthcare, and so I think it's something that we are very fortunate. India is the only country where the hand loom, which is a loom for cloth using the hand, is still there. I think it's finished across the world. So I think it's a very, very ancient tradition. I'm very happy that people are recognizing. I'm wearing a kanta today, which is from West
Mhm.
Bengal, and
Wow.
this
Wow.
dupatta is made by a person with their hand, and I think that is makes it invaluable. And also,
Absolutely.
I I got it from a exhibition in Bangalore where the
Uh-huh.
weaver themselves were there, and there was a company which had organized this exhibition so that the weavers get that market. So I think there's a lot of things happening around our ancient heritage, which is very positive.
Awesome. Awesome. With that, let's talk a little bit about the Vedic math system.
Yes,
So I've been an advocate of the system for a
yes,
long
yes,
time now.
absolutely.
How has your experience been with the system since you've traveled so much? You've in the zero was invented in India,
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm sure this is a new awakening for Vedic maths. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I think that anything that is connected with a deep ethos or a deep cultural value resonates with people. And there is only so much that you can, do to keep them away. I think they will come back. So people want to go back to their roots. They are self assured today. They understand there is a great push towards trying to learn from our past. So in any field, Vedic maths is one of the I think a very great step to get people feel positive and feel proud of their heritage. It is something that helps children at a very early age realize that there is a way in which you can study, which is not which is going to give you an alternative route to the same answer. And I
Right.
think, that's just amazing. And it is, I have written that in my book. I've in fact quoted you on that, saying that,
Yes.
in life we have
Yes.
different ways of going and solving a problem. Our solutions can come in different ways, and that's okay. It is so unlike the Western way, where people have one direction. Everybody has to wear have an iPhone in order to make it. I think that is something that is what we have inherently understood through our ancient culture, is that everybody has a different way of achieving an answer of the same problem. And you through Vedic maths are able to give them that insight. I think that once that bulb goes lights up in their mind, it makes for a very positive and a very self-assured individual. You are no longer running away from your identity. So apart from what you're doing for the math skills, which of course you know best, I can talk about all these additional benefits that come with a person who actually opens their mind up to something from an Indian culture. So from that perspective also, of course, the maths part is there, and we all want our children to be good in numerical skills. It's a very essential part of education. I think kudos to you. You are reaching so many students across the world, and taking our flag of our ancient India flying high.
Thank you so much for those kind words. And it's really a pleasure to hear such words from you, ma'am, and feels great. You're very kind, and I hope I've been able to touch the right chords and promote the concept of Vedic maths in the better way. So let's see if we have some questions. We have a hello from Mr. Anup Goenka, who
Oh,
who just says hello right now.
yes. Okay. Okay.
But would you, as my last question, would you like to leave us with a message for the audience? A small message, and then we'll wrap up.
My message is that please do ensure that the children, your children, or if you're a teacher, and I know that since Gaurav works in this field of education, there is a very important aspect of that when we are considering the next generation. And I think I would request, or maybe recommend that you expose your kids to as much of your tradition as possible. It is important for them to see it, to have not only an understanding of it, but a better way to live their life, because our tradition is so much full of deep thought and spirituality, which is what will take them far. I mean, in today's world we all know that just having a great CV may not work. You need to have the skills to adapt, the skills to be centered, that spiritual aspect. So I guess we need to have that in our kids. We need to make them understand the value of who we are as Indians. And I think that's something that we all can do, especially in the education space. And that is all that I would like to say, Gaurav. And I think you are doing a great job with it, with your initiative. So more strength to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. And it's a pleasure for all of us here at the Vedic Maths Forum India to be enlightened by your presence today and to listen to you. It's been my personal pleasure, and I've learned so much, even apart from the book which I've read on the Indic Quotient which we are talking about. So I got to learn so much because it's very very overwhelming right now for me personally to talk about that, and it's a pleasure. That's all
Thank
I
you.
want to say.
Thank you so
So
much. Thank you so much.
So we're gonna end now the show, and I would like to thank Ma'am Kaninika Mishra for gracing us at our show today. It's been a privilege to have you, ma'am, and I look forward to having you again. And thank you so very much. So for
Thank
our
you. Thank you.
listeners, yes. So for our listeners, I want to thank you for being there so patiently for such a long time, and it's been a great learning experience for us here today. And I wish you the best of luck. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channels. And please visit Ma'am Kananika's website, kaninikamishra.com. You can take a look at there. The book is available at all the bookstores, the Indic Quotient, and I wish ma'am the very best of luck in all the endeavors which she participates in. So thank you so
Thank
very
you so
much.
much, Gaurav. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.